Welcome to Torrential Riff, celebrating my 100th episode. I have no idea how I made this many videos. It doesn't feel like that many. But thank you guys for coming along for the ride. You guys seem to like the show, so I'm going to keep it going as long as I can. So this one's a kind of a special episode. I wanted to make a 100th episode kind of something different. And playing STRYPER is not all that different, but I have a cool story for this. So, if you didn't watch yesterday's episode, 99 with Mars Hill, go back, watch that first. Pause this, go back, watch that, and then come back and watch this one. Alright guys, I'll wait for you. Hold on. Alright, are you back? You finished watching the video from yesterday, the 99? Alright, so, because that has a link to what this story is. Alright, so, if you watched the video from yesterday, you know that Mars Hill was friends with Michael Sweet, and Michael Sweet produced their record. I told the singer Jack Marks from Mars Hill, I said, if you ever get with STRYPER in the studio, I said, you better give me a call, because they're my favorite band of all time. So I wake up one day, I'm getting ready for work, my phone rings, and Jack Marks calls me, and he goes, guess what, you're calling out of work today, and we're going to the studio at STRYPER. I flipped out. I'm like, no way, serious. So I drove up to where he lives, and we drove together to Kenny Lewis's studio in Massachusetts. I got a picture of Ken here. This is his home studio. There's Kenny Lewis there. So I brought my camera with me because I want to take some pictures, because I knew this would be awesome. So here's some more pictures with Michael Sweet here in the studio. So it was Michael Sweet and Oz Fox in the studio. Robert and Tim had already recorded their parts already. So here's another picture here. There's Jack Marks, my friend there from Mars Hill. There's Oz. Oz was jet lagged. Of course, he came from California to Massachusetts, so he was very tired. And there's Michael there. They're collaborating on the songs. So you might be asking me, well, why is Jack Marks in there with the STRYPER? So if you get time, go get your 7 CD. Again, pause it and then come back. I mean, I'm gonna do it here for you anyways, but if you've never really noticed, take out your booklet. And let's look at the, it's actually on the back. Is it on the back? No. Hold on 1 second. Here it is. Let's see. So on the new songs. So anyway, I'm driving with Jack in the car on the way to STRYPER, and Jack's, talking to me about working with Michael Sweet and everything like that. So Jack's telling me the story, saying, he goes, me and Michael were driving on the way to the studio, and Michael turns to me and says, hey Jack, do you want to do backing? So Hollywood Records contacted him, and we're going to make 2 new songs, for a best of STRYPER record called 7. And Michael Sweet turns to him and says, hey, do you want to do some backing vocals for the 2 new songs? And Jack was like, yes, of course. And Michael goes, we're even going to pay you. He goes, we got money from the studio. So that's when Jack called me and says, hey, you're calling out at work. You're coming in the studio with me today with STRYPER. So you pull out your liner notes here. If you scroll down, you'll see, where's it on here? Is it on this one? Where is it? Where's the... Hold on 1 second here. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it is right here. Okay, sorry. So let me try to focus in on here. Something For You, previously unreleased, High Load Records, produced by Kenny Lewis. It was recorded. Some of it was recorded in Providence, one of my hometown. I live in East Providence, but my hometown. Mixed Emotions is where Kenny Lewis Studio is. And then let's see, additional background vocals. Jack Marks. So, and I took a picture with Oz, Jack, and Michael in the studio doing the background vocals, which is right here. So that's when they were all doing the background vocals for the songs. So I went in and took a picture, which is super cool. I mean, hanging out with them was the coolest thing ever. I mean, it was one of the, in my music career, not music career, but in my music life, I mean, that was probably one of the coolest moments ever. So yeah, they were recording. Michael did the vocals for these. So it was cool being in the studio with them. And I'm sure maybe, I don't know how many of you have ever met Michael Sweet in person, but it's always scary meeting your idol because sometimes it's not that a good experience, or you're like, oh, he's not what I thought he was. Michael Sweet was the man you saw back in the heyday of STRYPER, the same guy you see now, and this is 2010, and this was 2003. Super humble guy. He's very funny, very honest. Again, it was he not only met my expectations, he exceeded them. I was definitely very impressed with Michael. Just being a cool guy, and he was very funny. We were in the studio for hours and hours and hours. So they're like, hey, let's go get something to eat. So we all jumped in the van. It was me, Kenny, Oz, Michael, and Jack, and we all went to some restaurant. It was like a fast food, but it wasn't. I forget what it was. Anyways, so you had to go up and order at the counter. So all the guys went in front of me, and then so I came and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna order something." And the girl at the counter goes, "Who is that guy?" She's talking about Michael Sweet. And I go, he's sold 10 million records and toured the world like 8 times. She goes, I could tell that guy was somebody. And Michael does have that aura about him. Like, even if you don't know who he is, you're like, that guy is special, and he's somebody. So again, he just has that impression on people. But again, he was super cool. This part, I'm going to tell you about this part in For You. So they were experimenting what they should do in the sounds. So they got to this part where you got some like background vocals. Let me show you where it is here. Is that the whole thing? Let's see if I can find it here. Sorry about that. But it was so cool hanging out with them in the studio, watching the process go. Nope. Well, it's coming up, I think. Nope. So that part there, it actually was a lot more up front in the mix, and they started like deviating and adding that more. It's almost gothic sounding. If you go back and listen to it, it's very different, and it started going off in the wrong direction. And Michael's like, we got to cut that down and bring it back. I remember Michael walks into the room with that chanting in the background, with his hair down and his eyes rolled up in the back of his head like a zombie. Again, he's super funny. So again, a cool story, awesome experience. Because I met Michael at Inside Out Soul Festival in 1998. I met him at the STRYPER Expo in 2000. And then when I met him here again, he always says to me, he goes, "Hey, I remember you." I mean, he doesn't remember my name, which is fine, but he does remember me. This part here. You hear it a little bit there. But it's just funny how he's like, all right, this is getting too far off track. He goes, we got to bring it down and tone it down a little bit, because this is a STRYPER song. So, and I have seen Michael recently. He's played live acoustics in near my house in Massachusetts, and I get to see him afterwards. He's like, "Hey, I remember you." So at least he remembers me, which is good. But again, super cool guy. What you see on interviews or in concert, that's the guy. He's again, super nice guy. I have no bad things to say, but only praise for Michael Sweet. So I just wanted to share that with you. Again, this is a special episode, my 100th. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and watching. And again, spread it to your friends. Anybody that even likes metal, they may hear some of these songs and some of these bands, and they may say, "Hey, this is actually pretty good." People always knock Christian metal, but metal is metal. There's no such thing as Christian metal. I know we kind of group it like that because that's just the easiest way to know. In our circle, that's what we call it. But rock music is rock music, and just take it for that. So, all right, guys, I think it's going to be it for this episode. Again, thanks for watching, and keep watching, and I'll keep this going as long as I can. And I think that's going to be it. Rock on. That's it for this one. See you in the next one. Later.